If you spend any time on crypto Twitter over the past week, no doubt you've heard the term ordinals being thrown around. What are those ordinals and how you'll be able to capitalize off of them? Make sure you watch until the end of the video because I'm going to actually walk you through how you're able to buy some of these ordinals if that's something that you wish to do. And I do think there is huge potential in these ordinals. And ordinals are essentially NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain rather than another blockchain like Ethereum or Solana. There is something a little bit different about ordinals because there previously were NFTs written on the Bitcoin blockchain years ago. But what makes ordinals special is that they're basically a visual representation of a single Satoshi. And if you guys are familiar with Bitcoin, you know that there is 100 million Satoshis that make up a single Bitcoin. To illustrate the potential, let's look at one single sale of a Bitcoin ordinal that sold this past week. What we're looking at here are Bitcoin punks. And these punks are essentially just copies from CryptoPunks on the Ethereum blockchain, which, as you know, are some of the highest selling NFTs in all of crypto. A CryptoPunk sold for $11.75 million during the 2021 bull market.
Wow.
Why the heck is a JPEG on a blockchain selling for $11.75 million? I don't know, but the point is people see value in these NFTs. If other people are willing to pay that much, then why can't you capitalize off the hype around some of these things as well? And that is why I'm making this video on ordinals, because we are so early into the ordinal game that if someone was to buy some of the first few ordinals that were minted on the Bitcoin blockchain, I think that there are hundreds of thousands of dollars to be made. And that has been shown. The highest sale of a Bitcoin punk to date has been around $200,000. This punk that sold on the Bitcoin blockchain over the past week was minted at just 0.01 Bitcoin, or around like 220 bucks over the past week. So imagine minting something for like 200 bucks and then now selling it for over $200,000 just a week later. You just made like 3 people's salary in like 1 week. To say that there is potential here is like the understatement of the century. So how do you get involved? Good question. So @Dot on Twitter has a great guide to buying ordinals for people who aren't really familiar with what they are yet. So essentially they're the on-chain layer 1 NFT system for Bitcoin. And they're a little bit different because right now all of the sales that are taking place of ordinals are all OTC, so there isn't even a marketplace available. And so this is why I'm saying that we're so early into ordinals right now and that the potential is probably pretty massive because there's not even a marketplace. So the barrier to entry is very, very high. And if you can be one of the people that figures out how to get one of these before a marketplace is made, then you're probably going to be able to sell an ordinal for many multiples of what you ended up buying it for. So do you need a full node to buy ordinals? You do not need a Bitcoin node to buy ordinals, but at the moment you need one in order to create, sell, or transfer them. And so what I suggest is if you do decide to buy an ordinal after watching this video and looking into it yourself, what I suggest is that you end up just holding that ordinal until a marketplace is set up. And once a good marketplace is set up, then probably it'll be worth a whole lot more than what you bought it for anyway, and you'll be able to offload it in a relatively easy process. So one of the best ways to do it is Sparrow Wallet. And he goes through this a little bit, but the idea is you just hold the ordinal in Sparrow Wallet and you're not sending any transactions whatsoever out of Sparrow Wallet. You're doing nothing except getting that ordinal in Sparrow Wallet via, one of these Discord servers that we're talking about, and then you just hold that there until a marketplace is set up, and then you can go ahead and sell it, transfer it, do whatever you want. Because there is a danger that if you decide to transfer it out of Sparrow Wallet, you might actually end up losing that NFT. So real quick, let's head over to the Sparrow Wallet website. It's simply sparrowwallet.com. And as you can see, all you have to do is basically click the download button right here. It'll ask you to choose which operating system you're working on, and then it's pretty simple to actually set up the Sparrow wallet yourself. There are a few good tutorials, and I'm actually going to link to those in the description below. Now back to Dada's thread. What makes them different than NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain? And so Dada goes through this very well. What are these inscriptions that everyone keeps talking about? So in Ordinals, they don't call them NFTs, but rather digital artifacts and inscriptions are when you write the NFT on a particular piece of Bitcoin. So a Satoshi. This is what we talked about earlier. One of these NFTs is written on a single Satoshi. They're inscribed on a single Satoshi. Okay, so where do you buy these? You're gonna have to do some digging, and Dada's thread on this is a good place to start. You'll be able to find some of these ordinal projects and then hop into their discords. Some of them have already minted out, and you can buy ones on secondary market, but they're going to be pretty expensive. Like I mentioned, a Bitcoin Punk has sold for over 200 grand already when it first minted for about 200 bucks. So if you're going to be looking into this, unless you already have a lot of money, I would try to find projects that are minting but are still relatively early on in the process. So do you have to pay with Bitcoin? No, a lot of these discords, they're allowing people to pay them in ETH, and then they're going to send you the ordinal on Bitcoin. But I would caution you, since all this is OTC, basically don't spend any money that you're not willing to lose, because there is that small possibility that one of these people who says they're going to send you an ordinal via an OTC trade actually doesn't end up sending you that, and then you lose your money. So that's just something I do want to caution you guys about. Make sure the project is legit before you're sending any money to any of these projects. Another avenue for getting involved in ordinals would be creating one for yourself. So maybe you're an artist, or maybe you just want to try to capitalize on this new trend. You can actually inscribe an NFT yourself onto the Bitcoin blockchain and create one of these ordinals for yourself that you can then possibly sell. And a good tool for that is gamma.io. They just released this tool, and it makes it extremely simple to inscribe an ordinal onto the blockchain for yourself without having to run a full node. So I know this video is kind of a lot to take in, but I hope that some of the information shared in this video has opened your eyes to the potential that ordinals have. They're not only for making money, but this is actually history being made as we speak, and you can be early on this trend if you decide to take part in it at all. I'm very excited to see where ordinals go, and especially when a marketplace is actually made that's very user friendly to trade these ordinals, because that is when I believe these will really start blowing up in price. Guys, if you found this video useful, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. It really helps me out, and that way you won't miss out on some of the new trends that come up in the crypto markets. I'm constantly paying attention to these trends, and I want to share them with you guys so that you guys can get involved if that's something that you're interested in. So please hit that subscribe button if you found this video valuable.